Right now, I want to focus on one thing, isolation, and just talk about how do we get to a point where we start isolating ourselves. When we find out that we continue to isolate ourselves, it might be a slippery slope to a point where we start considering suicide. And for some people, trauma and a lot of rejection or a lot of stress can push them to that point where they just don't want to live life anymore. We're built for community, and you would think that most people want community, but the challenges of life and things that we have gone through as individuals might actually bring us to a place where we don't feel safe being around people. For some, it's guilt of things that have happened in the past has just made them believe that they need to be on their own. For some people, it's shame about what they have done, how they will face other people. And for some people, it's anxiety. A lot of people have social anxiety, not knowing how to interact with other people. For some people, it's this continuous internal mental picture that you will be judged, that people will look down on you, that you don't have enough, you're not enough to come into a space. You don't want to be the ridicule of the conversation, and because of that, you isolate yourself. So you see, there are many reasons why people isolate themselves. And for those who have experienced social anxiety or who experience social anxiety and who don't want to be judged, it's possible they've been judged before, or they've watched other people being judged and they're like, that didn't look good, I don't want that to be me. And the challenge is when we stay by ourselves, when things start going wrong, we may not be able to notice on time. And it's possible too that we make poor judgments because of the situations we're in. When you are around people, there's a likelihood that somebody is going to be checking on you, somebody is going to see you, somebody might quickly say, hey, what's up, what are you doing? Even if it's criticism, even if it's in a way that you don't like it, someone is talking to you and you might reflect on what they said and check yourself. But when you isolate yourself, you kind of don't get that. You don't get someone speaking into your life and interacting with you. And interacting with other people also gives hope. Yes, it can be challenging to find good friendship. For some of us, we've just been disappointed with friendships. We haven't really found people that we feel safe with. Now, I talked about risk factors, and I said isolation is one of those risk factors. So a protective factor, which is the opposite of the risk factor, is community. Community is very important. So are you part of a community? Because even though I've spoken about isolation, and there are many more reasons why people isolate, some people just need time to heal, so they don't want other people messing with them. And another reason why people isolate is some people are just not in good company. They don't have people around them that they can trust. Or those people are dragging them down to places they don't want to be, so they would rather not. They would rather keep to themselves. For some people, it's sicknesses. There are sicknesses that actually isolate. When it's chronic and it's a lot, sometimes you just want to be by yourself, and other people might actually not want to be around you. And then it's habits for some people. Maybe using substances like alcohol and things like that. Actually, when you use alcohol and you use drugs, part of the effect is isolation. And when you're withdrawing and when you're behaving, it might get to a point where you are isolated. Either people don't want to be around you, or you don't want to be around people because of the effects of the drugs you're taking. So I just added more to why people isolate, and it's important to know why people isolate, because isolation is a risk factor for suicide. And I would want you to be able to check yourself and see, like, am I isolating in any way? And if I am isolating in any way, what can I do to put myself back into community? I used to have a lot of friends when I was a young girl into teenage years. I had a lot of friends. I think even in early 20s, I just had lots of friends. But as I've grown older, I don't have many friends anymore, and I'm fine with that. It took me a while to be okay with not having many friends. You hear community, you don't have to be friends with everybody. It's okay if you just have 2, 3, 1 friend. Sometimes that is all we need. And family is a huge part of community. Now, if you don't have a family that you can trust, that's a big issue. Some people would say, sometimes family members are the worst. And they would say it's sometimes some friends are even closer than a brother. Whatever that is like to you, I just pray that you have either family members that you can call your own, your tribe, that you can open your life to and who can open their lives to you, that you can be in community with, whether they are close by, you see them every day, or some distance away and you have to call each other and text each other. That's still community. You can do community online. Thank God for the global world. So don't be like, I need to see them in person. No, if you don't see them in person, write them, text them, call them, just be in constant community. But the other way too, which is the most preferred and the most dependable way, is God, the Holy Spirit. If you have a relationship with God, you already have community. Now, He actually has a relationship with you. The question is, do you have a relationship with Him? He created you and He's committed to taking care of you. He doesn't have any plans or any thoughts to leave you. Now, you do need to even acknowledge that He is seeking you, that He loves you, that He is for you. And I hope that as you do that, you will see that there is great treasure in community with the Lord. You can wake up any time of the night or even in the morning and talk to Him about your fears. I talk to God about my fears. I have a journal right here that I feel my stuff in every day. I write down thoughts. And there are moments that I actually skip my journal and I don't write. When I don't do my journal well, I'm always wondering what's up with you, too, because typically I would love to journal. But some people don't like to journal. Just make sure that you're talking to God, maybe in your heart, in your mind, out loud. Be in community with God. Go out in nature. Be in community with nature. And notice what's going on around you. So I'm saying, when you find it hard to build, because it takes time and a lot of investment to have good friends, you have to see how your life blends together, and it takes time to heal. Maybe you already have family wounds and you've hurt yourselves and you're already thinking, I don't know how to just do this quick. Why don't you be in relationship with God? Actually, the Lord will give you wisdom on how to find good friends. He'll give you wisdom and grace to forgive so that you can start mending relationships. He will give you wisdom on how to ask for forgiveness if that's what you need to do to mend those relationships that have been broken and mend those communities. The Lord will not only hear you and comfort you, but He will give you wisdom to build the bridges that may have been torn down. And actually, God will give you confidence about who you are, because I talked about social anxiety. Some people don't go into spaces because they don't feel that they are enough, or they've been ridiculed in the past. With God, I have confidence to do things that I might have been ridiculed for, even to get into spaces that I might think that people don't want me to be in. I've been able to enter into spaces regardless of what people think, because of God, because I know someone is backing me up, saying, hey, you can do it, I put you there, I'm the one who assigned you to be there. It gives me boldness to take charge of things that would have weighed me down in the presence of other people. So I want to encourage you that when you have God in your life, it's not just that He's hearing you, but He's actually helping you to deal with all all those things. Some people, like I said earlier, it's trauma and things they've gone through in the past that is making them isolate. God can heal trauma. He can help you to see things differently, and He can give you hope that regardless of what you've gone through in the past, He's still there for you. So these are ways that even though isolation can be caused by different things, there are ways you can build a protective factor, which I have shared, and the ultimate one is still the Lord, and He can help you, because what we want to do is we want to move away from things that can lead us to despair and to hopelessness, and want to move towards life. And as we in this month create the awareness of suicide and how we can actually prevent it, I pray and I hope that these words will encourage you to look at yourself and say, hey, how am I really protecting myself from isolation, and how am I redeeming what might have been lost, relationships and community that might have been lost. I'm cheering